Greetings to the Lunar Manifesting Matrix. This is Elizabeth Schermer with an intuitive reading for the Lunar Matrix on Tuesday, July 10th. Today's reading is for the coming week, starting with today's last quarter moon, which occurs at 6:48 p.m. today, Tuesday, July 10th. And the guidance helps us through the coming week leading up to next week's new moon, occurring at 9:48 p.m. Wednesday, July 18th. The astrological chart for this week has really good news. I'm really excited to speak with you today because the message for this week is all about joy and happiness and our ability to access those frequencies in practical ways in our lives this week. The basic message of the chart for this week, for the last quarter moon, is that you yourself are right where you're supposed to be. Everything's perfect as it is, and as much as possible in the coming week, focus on happiness and joy as the frequencies that will build the inner foundation of who and what you are. The last quarter moon always represents a turning point following the recent full moon. This is a period of inner awareness and decision making based on your responses to the circumstances around you and what the full moon has illuminated in your life. You may remember that the overriding theme of last week's moon was what I called spiritual destruction, meaning that you've had a special awareness in the last few days of what needs to be dismantled in your life, and there was an opportunity to take specific actions towards what no longer was needed. This week's moon brings a narrowing of focus. That's a natural aspect of the last quarter moon. It brings a narrowing of your focus, allowing you to choose what you will embody moving forward to the coming new moon. The challenge this week that's unique is that you will need to choose where to put your focus. There are dual energies and a great deal of contrast available in your life right now because of the dismantling that's happening. So, because there are certain elements being dismantled, it would be easy this week to focus on stress or frustration and those circumstances, which would amplify those experiences and lead to greater unhappiness or frustration. Solutions to any difficulties this week lie with your internal perspective and your choice of taking action in your inner realms to align your viewpoint or your perspective with the circumstances that inspire joy and happiness. The news in the chart, and then again in the cards that are coming, the reading that's coming, is that there's abundant joy and happiness in your life experience available right now. But you'll need to choose to look in that direction. If you engage with circumstances that represent the dismantling, you will experience sadness or frustration or disappointment. But if you align with the higher frequencies, the potential is infinite for what you can experience, and this will help you to set the energies and for the new wave of momentum and new creation that's coming next week. So, knowing this potential and the potential of the cosmic cycle for the week, I asked for today's reading for guidance to understand the nature of the potentials and what support's available for us in choosing our perspective this week. And so in front of you, you see the cards I chose. For students of Tarot, you'll instantly, perhaps if you know this deck, recognize that all three cards this week are major arcana, and all three cards emerged upright. So my very first hit when I turned these three cards over was that there's incredible spiritual alignment this week, and the gates are wide open. Nothing's holding us back. I'm going to say a little bit about the symmetry of the cards, and then I'll go into the specifics. The first I said that there's significance in having three major arcana cards, and the major arcana, the 22 major arcana cards in the deck, represent the path of mystery, the mystery school of the Tarot, the path of mystery and the royal road of unfolding in our lives. Major arcana refers to the royal road of our own ability to come to conscious embodiment. And each card in the major arcana reveals an aspect of this journey to self, to divine self. The card to the immediate left, in the position of body, is known as the Eon or Judgment. And this card refers to clear judgment, divine judgment, and access to the highest understandings of seeing, the ability to see the big picture and hold the big picture in our life. In this deck, the central image is Isis sitting on a throne, and overlaying Isis is a transparent image of her husband Osiris. And these are both very powerful Egyptian deities. And then around them is the Egyptian god of the celestial sky, holding the sky, and the goddess, of the celestial sky, and holding the sky and grounding to earth with the message that we have access to full creativity and full creative potential. The Eon is a card of the highest, it's sometimes known as the highest manifesting card in the deck, because it means we've come to the place where we absolutely become divine creators with Source in the process of co-creation. And this card in the position of body today means that represents the embodiment of our higher self in our form, in our physical experience, and also the fact that the future is the future that we have prepared for and that we have been intending is being born. This card represents the birth in our life of all the forms that we've desired. Moving all the way to the right, the card in the position of Spirit is what I would say the other powerful manifesting card in the deck, the Chariot. And the Chariot represents the principle of manifestation and change in the physical world. It's often, it's a card of pure optimism that represents our ability to manifest in the physical realm if we're able to hold the truth of the big picture. And in this painting, the painting in this deck shows the charioteer, I don't know if you can see it, but on the yellow brick road and holding the wheel of fortune, sitting in the lotus position, being pulled forward. And so the card represents the fact that the truth, that we are indeed being drawn by Spirit on our highest path of divine truth. And it represents our ability to trust. And a reminder from Spirit, in this card being in the position of Spirit, that our job, if you want to call it a job, is to hold optimism and the truth of what we know, which is that all is always well. All is well. So these two cards, bridging body and spirit, with the center card, which is the bridge, which is the position of mind, and the card called lust, or in most decks, strength. And this painting also is incredibly beautiful and is the image of Beauty and the Beast turning to golden fire. And this card represents the truest, deepest quality of our strength, or our luster, which is our ability to integrate all the aspects of who we are, to not shrink or hide or fade away from what we would call the shadow, but to embrace and embody it. So one of the teachings represented in this card is our ability to integrate our desire with our intuition. And so when I meditated on the spread for today and asked what the help would be for us in this week of huge potential to access joy and happiness, the understanding is that we are poised now in a place to take a new step into our ability to understand what it is to be conscious co-creators with source energy. Both the Eon and the Chariot are representing this today in powerful ways. And the astrology chart spoke of the importance of us accessing happiness and joy this week, and by focusing our will on what we choose to experience or perceive. And so the strength card in the position of the mental realm is saying that we can use our mind this week to choose our perspective. We can also use our mind and our mental abilities of imagination to access our deepest feelings and our deepest desires, and to access the release, use our will to release those deepest desires and to trust and to trust the feelings of them. So with the understanding of the big picture that all three of these cards represent, after I meditated on the three, I asked if there was any specific guidance to help us further understand the nature of these immense potentials and all the positivity that's being represented here. And the fourth card today is the Prince of Swords. The Prince of Swords represents the mental realm and a new initiation of energy into the mental realm, a new expression, a strong focused expression. In fact, the Prince of Swords is often thought or called the thinker, because he represents our ability to be very focused. You may even use the word analytical in our approach to circumstances. So here's what's interesting about this card today is that it appeared reversed. And so the Prince of Swords reversed has a very special message. So when I sat with it, what came through loud and clear is that it's important for us to reach the full potentials of what's amazingly available this week, is to pull away from external analysis of circumstances. It's really important right now to, rather than expressing without, is to go within and access our inner truth. And that's the inner truth represented by the Strength Lust card in the center. There's an inner truth that's much deeper than analysis right now. It's in our body, and it's our intuition and our desire. And that's where the strength of the mental realm lies this week. So if you find yourself feeling impatient, if you find yourself overanalyzing circumstances, if you find yourself looking for answers or solutions around you, that will be an indicator this week that you're placing your focus in the wrong direction. And you'll know that you're placing your focus in the wrong direction this week if you begin to feel sad or disappointed or worried or upset, because that's the contrast that's available. And so the reminder will be then in those times to look within or without in your circumstances for those experiences that bring you happiness and joy. What I'm receiving intuitively and in the message from these cards is that all that really matters this week is to feel good, because the spiritual support available to us is infinite. And all we need to do is place ourselves in the presence, in alignment with those frequencies of joy and happiness, and everything will become clear. So I want to welcome you to the experience of this week and invite you to join with me in a celebration of the worlds that we are beginning to experience. I end the session today with blessings and intentions for the highest and best for all, and I invite you to remember that this last quarter moon energy is available for the coming week until the new moon next Wednesday evening, July 18th. Take advantage of this week of synchronicities that will direct your attention to contrast. Some of the contrast will be an open invitation to joy and happiness and be unmistakable, but there will also be opportunities to put your attention to those experiences that are frustrating or disappointing. Those are also opportunities to raise awareness, as we talked about. And remember that at those times, you're feeling the truth of the fields that are being dismantled, those aspects that are being torn apart. So realize that process is already set in motion, and you don't need to put your attention there. Focus there this week will only bring you unhappiness and more of the same. Remember, there are abundant opportunities right now to experience happiness and joy. Place attention on what feels good in your life. Look for those openings. They can be as simple as enjoying the feel of the summer sun on your skin, or laughter, sharing laughter with friends. Intend to find happiness and peace of mind, and you will. Rest there, and your joy will expand. These are the energy fields that will carry you into next week's manifesting wave and new initiation of form with the coming new moon. The next intuitive reading will be posted early next week and offer guidance for setting your new moon intentions. In the meantime, have a wonderful week. This is Elizabeth Schermer with the Lunar Manifesting Matrix.